Okay guys, as we've mentioned, do not miss out on your chance to win this insane prize package. Check this out. You're starting out with a Gibson Custom SG Red Devil guitar, just like Angus Young's. Moving on, you get the latest SoloDallas Schaffer Tower, signed by Ken Schaffer, the inventor himself. Guys, you also get a Marshall JTM 45 with SoloDallas' signature black mod, converting it to a JTM 50, with a matching cabinet with vintage speakers. Guys, do not miss out on this. Head over to consequenceofsound.net and enter right now for your chance to win. I'm gonna turn it over to SoloDallas founder Phil, who knows all things AC/DC. He's gonna take us through this rig and tell us more about these tones and his love of the band. Take it away, Phil.
My name is Phil, and I run a company called SoloDallas, devoted to making a line of products named the Schaffer Replica line. I reverse engineered some of the most classic AC/DC sounds, which ultimately brought me to work with AC/DC and Angus Young himself. I'm excited to be taking a test drive of this once-in-a-lifetime guitar rig that we're going to give away to a lucky winner. The sounds of Back in Black, the guitar sounds everything about Back in Black. It just hits you like a blade. And I started marveling about the sounds and the tightness of the album to a point where I think that that particular album, the way that it's played and recorded and engineered, conceived, and everything about it is just so penetrating. And I believe that it never lets you go, in fact. With me, it had a sort of effect where I just knew that I had to discover how those particularly guitar sounds were made. And I discovered a unique device that had been used by Angus Young. Angus Young was replying to a specific question. Angus, do you use any effects? And he said, no, I just use a Schaffer Vega diversity system. And that's a wireless system that he used to use. And he said, for me, that's probably the best. But that was an answer to what guitar effects do you use? And he just said, I use none other than the Schaffer Vega diversity. And when I read that phrase, I really saw that light bulb over my head, and I knew I was on to something. When Angus was presented with a Schaffer, that was in a live club in New York. We're talking about end of summer 1977. And he spoke initially with Ken Schaffer, the inventor of that actual piece of equipment. And he determined that you could further saturate your amplifier with the device. So on the very first night that they got those couple of systems from the actual inventor, they knew that it would affect for the better Angus sound. And they welcomed the system not only for its wireless capabilities, because it was really a need of Angus to be able to go wherever he wanted to go. Very important to him, especially at the time, because he's always been a very wild performer, and the cable was really limiting his antics on stage. And plus, it sounded great. And I mean, that was very relevant to them. They were great musicians already, extremely tasteful. They knew what sounded great and what didn't. I wrote a letter to Kenny. I call him Kenny now, but I used to call him Mr. Schaffer, saying, I'm desperately looking for an original system, a wireless system that you invented. Do you have any unit left that you'd like to give for scientific purposes? After a few months, he replied back to me, and we became friends. He still had some units, which he gave me, and I started reverse engineering those very units. Angus Young caught a voice of the fact that I was doing this because some fans wrote, one fan particularly, an AC/DC fan that was following the blog, which I still thank to this day, sent a letter, regular mail, to Angus' house. So a little bit later, Ken Schaffer and Angus got in touch, and Angus asked us to go to Vancouver at their warehouse recording studio, where AC/DC were recording a Rocker Bust. And so we went there and gifted Angus with serial number 001 Schaffer Tower, my very first tower that we made. And 2 days later, when we returned home, someone from the production called us, letting us know that Angus was liking very much the Schaffer Tower, and he was going to use it in the album and then on tour. So our relationship started like that with them, and we provided them with a number of Schaffer Towers, even subsequently in the following years. We were very warmly received in the studio, which was one of the best things that happened in my life, understandably. He was, has been, is, and will be my hero forever. I still remember the day that my mother brought me the tape cassette of Back in Black, back then in July 1980. And since then, the album has changed the way that I listen to music, and I play music as well. But I think we already spoke enough about it. It's about time we hear the thing. This is the actual rig that the lucky winner is going to get, and it's comprised of a Marshall cabinet. This is a reshoot cabinet loaded with vintage speakers. And then we have a Marshall JTM 45, modified by us into a JTM 50, which is the actual amp that Angus got to use for many years in the studio and live. And in this configuration, it's exactly the amp that got to be part of the sessions of Back in Black, and before that, Highway to Hell. And then we have here our Schaffer Tower. So we're going to briefly run these and to give an idea of what they sound like. Let's try the amp on its own first. Let's now add to the recipe the Schaffer Tower and see what it does to the sound. Thanks to all of the artists that took part in this virtual celebration, and thanks to all of you for tuning in and rocking out with us. Guys, don't forget one more reminder, head over to consequenceofsound.net right now to enter for your chance to win that insane prize package. But most of all, thank you AC/DC, we love you so much, and we thank you for putting out one of the greatest albums of all time, Back in Black. Until next time, have a drink on me, Jared James Nichols signing out.